Today on the table, we have a Mauser C96 broom handle. Now, a couple nicknames for it are the broom handle, and then also too, it was Han Solo's blaster. So if you watch the Star Wars movies, they actually use this model of a pistol to modify or make Han Solo's blaster from. So just kind of a fun little fact on that. Again, it is a Mauser. You can see here, so it is an authentic Mauser. I'll show you if you can get the stamp in there. You do want to look for ones that have in the recesses almost like the machine mark still. You don't want the ones that are smooth finish. Generally, those are more of a Chinese copy. So you do want to look for the ones that have the machine mark still left in them. This is all original, has its walnut grips on it. I bought this for a couple different reasons. I wanted one that still had some of the bluing left on it, so you can see here on the adjuster for windage, you can see there's still bluing there on the top of that as well too. And then also here, where you would load it, there's some bluing. And then also on the safety, right here, there's a little bit of blue left. So I just think that's pretty cool, because this one is from around 1906, 1910, somewhere right in there. It could have been used in World War II or even World War I, not sure. But obviously it is very old. I mean, 117 years old. It's just super cool in that regards. But we can go over some things just history-wise. This is a standard length Mauser. This one is chambered in 7.63 times 25 Mauser. They did come in quite a few different other cartridges. There's a 765 by 21. There was a 9mm. There's a 45 ACP, which was a Chinese-made one. There was a 9mm Mauser. And then there was an 8.15 or an 8.15 Mauser. And then also just an odd like 8mm one as well. I think they called it like a gasser or something like that. And if I remember right, the Chinese copies or the Chinese manufacturers, they did the 45 ACP, and I think they also did the 9mm as well. So just want to show that here. This is a walnut grip one. You can find ones that are pretty desirable. They would have a red 9 on them. They call them red 9s. Each one also had a stock. I do not have a stock for this one. So there's a wood stock that slides in. It almost makes it like a rifle. So you could put it, brace it against your shoulder and shoot supposedly some pretty crazy distances, because if you see here on the top of the sight, you can actually adjust it all the way up to 1,000 yards actually, which is, if you just slide this here like this, and it still functions very nicely. But you can, if you just push the little button in here, you can slide it back and keep adjusting. That was one of the other reasons I wanted one here. They have ones that have different sights on the top, but I wanted the ones that can go up to 1,000 yards. I just thought that would be pretty cool to see. I can show everybody the function of it too here. So you have to load it. It holds a 10-round magazine, but it's a 10-round internal magazine, and you would use a stripper clip to load it, which is basically like a rectangle piece that holds all the shells or the cartridges, and then you just slide it in there, then push them all in. And then I can show you here. So if you pull it back, if I can get it back there or not. Oh wait, you know what? I wonder if no, it's not, it wasn't loaded, so let's try that again. There we go. Don't know why I couldn't get it to pop open that way. I would need the stripper clip normally to close it, but what you have to do is you have to funnily take your finger and push the magazine down if you don't have a stripper clip, and then that way you can get the bolt to go back just like that. And then there you go. And now it is back together again. So let's just go over some more history things about it as well. I mentioned all the different calibers that came in. There were some Chinese ones, like I said, that made it in a 45 ACP. It started right around 1896 is when they started making them, and Mauser made them from 1896 to 1937. And then obviously there was a lot of copies in that time period. A lot of other countries made them. There's a Swiss one. Obviously the Chinese one was a big manufacturer of them. You will see a lot of those online if you're looking. So it's you got to be careful to make sure you're not finding a Chinese copy unless you want one. Because again, you could find one in different calibers if you're looking. And they are a little bit more affordable if you find a Chinese copy as well. A couple other fun things is like Winston Churchill actually loved these, and he carried one. He actually carried one in the Battle of think it was like Omer Durman is what it was. And then also in another war that he was in, I think the Second Boer War, but you'd have to Google that. Another famous person was Lawrence of Arabia. He actually carried one of these for a while as well in the Middle East. I think he did during like the Indian Revolutionary War, back long time ago. So those are kind of two, famous people that had it. And one of the main reasons why the Chinese made so many copies of this is that there's a Chinese general, a communist general. I think it was Zhu Di. He carried one for a while during a war. And, so that was probably why they ended up making so many different copies of these. They were, unfortunately, again, they were used like the one we looked at before. They were used to kill monarchs and things like that. There was a Spanish prime minister. He was actually shot by 3 people shooting him with these, which is crazy. So that was, kind of odd. I think I mentioned it did manufacture from 1896 to 1937. The German Mausers were, and then they made about 1.1 million of them. And again, there was the Chinese manufacturers, and then there was also a Spanish manufacturer as well that made them. And you can, kind of find those if you look hard enough online, you might be able to find a Chinese one. A Spanish one. The Chinese ones are very easy to find. And if you can get stuff shipped from Europe, you can also find them, over there as well, even if you're looking for a standard German Mauser like this. But again, just wanted to show everybody. I think it's super cool. It's one of my favorite pistols. I've not shot it because I have not went to go hunting for ammo for it. It's hard to find 7.63 by 25 Mauser. But I can probably find it online somewhere. But I just really like looking at it and playing around with it and showing it off to people who just haven't seen one before. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions or if you want to see another pistol, one that you may have not seen in my shorts or here beginning in these more longer form history ones, let me know and I will try to find one of those as well.